Hello, this is Dr. Bob of MarketResearchOptimize.com. And today we're going to be talking about conducting market research interviews and the issue of asking why. Now, you may have heard it said that a viable interviewing technique, or simply a conversation in which you're trying to discover information from the person that you're talking with, is to ask the 5 big W questions: who, what, when, where, and why. Now, this is offered primarily as advice when you want to get someone to provide you with insights into the way they think and behave. But unfortunately, it's not true, at least not all of it. The 5 W's work very well when you use them as 4 W's. The who, what, when, and where. At least that sparks the conversation. But the why question is the one that is really problematic. It may take the school of hard knocks, at least it did for me, to discover that asking people why they do something, or why they do what they do, often causes them to give you misleading or rationalized information. The old saying among market researchers is that if you ask someone who just bought a new car, why did you buy that car? Well, they'll start talking to you about the specs, or they'll talk to you about the safety features. They'll give you a good, rational explanation as to why they bought that car, when the truth could very well be they liked the color, or they liked the salesperson, or they simply wanted to buy it. So asking people why puts them in a mode of justifying the action or the premise of whatever you're talking with them about. What you really want to do is to draw them out. One of the things that professional questioners, that is focus group moderators, people who make their living asking questions, are trained to rarely, if ever, ask people why. The general consensus is that why puts people into a defensive posture, moving them away from thinking about their feelings and perceptions and being straightforward with you about that. They go right into their rational mind, and the rational mind needs to postulate an acceptable, rational, good-sounding justification for their behavior, their thought, or their perception. Now, you'll hear this often, not just in market research circles, but also in psychology and motivational training. But even those of us who are trained in asking questions, those of us who do it for a living, can be caught disregarding our own advice. When I was relatively new in the market research field, I was working for a large company. And for whatever reason, I had this perception that, hey, these are all managers. These are smart, educated, rational people. And so rational discussions, rational argument was always going to win the day. That everybody wanted the best for the company that we were working for, and simply a rational argument would make sense to people and would win them over. Well, that's just not true. At least that was my experience and my perception. It took me a long time to break out of that and understand that just like most people, managers, people in business, people who are rational, often do things based on their emotions and their feelings, and are very good at coming up with rational reasons why they have those emotions and feelings and make the decisions that they do. What really came to me, I had a slow awakening, and that came to me by studying focus groups and focus group moderators and moderators who do in-depth interviews. And I looked at, why are these people so successful? Why are they so good at ferreting out the underlying emotions and motivation of the people that they were interviewing? You know, what I found is that they were constantly probing, they were asking, they were inviting people to share their thoughts, their feelings, and their perceptions. They were rarely asking them why. Now, every once in a while they would. Don't want to mislead you here. But asking why among professional questioners is usually done with extreme rarity. And in my observation, it's done very deliberately. When it was asked, the why question would be posed very quickly, and it would come at an unexpected point in the conversation. It would be almost a surprise to the person that was speaking. And doing that, in that mode, it was often very effective at eliciting the emotional response that the questioner was really looking for. Now, in my observation, the best professional market research interviewers really use two methods to discover the hidden emotions and motivations that they're trying to understand. First, they employ the Socratic method. Ask an open-ended question, a neutral question, or make a statement such as, please tell me more about that, or what is it about this product or service that makes you feel the way you feel? In other words, and critically important, they would always validate the person who was being interviewed. And the point of that was to make the people feel safe to have and then to reveal the feelings or emotions that were underlying their behavior. Second, professional questioners who are really successful at doing what they do always appear to take a genuine interest in the person who is speaking and in what the people had to say. Now, that's, of course, unless the person was way off track or they were talking with someone who was a few bricks short of a load, so to speak. However, they would go in, they would show that genuine interest. And that interest was palpable, regardless of the style that they used in their interviewing process. Now, I've seen moderators and professional questioners who are demure, who are scholarly, who are very quiet and laid back and draw people to them. I've seen other moderators and questioners who are abrupt and even confrontational. But that's a matter of style and choice, and the style really didn't seem to matter if the person being interviewed sensed that the person that was questioning them or having a conversation with them was showing a genuine interest in them and was really interested in what they had to say. So the very best questioners are able to sense what style is most appropriate for a given person or a group of persons, and they adjust their approaches accordingly. I've seen focus group moderators who go in and they'll be very quiet and forgiving, so to speak, with some people in the room, and others they have to become more aggressive and they have to push them a little harder. It's a matter of reading people and understanding what's the best method to use for drawing them out. So you too can adopt these methods, the Socratic method and showing genuine interest, in your interactions with your colleagues, your clients, with bureaucrats, with salespeople, and with almost anyone that you encounter. Ask questions, request feedback, get a sense of the person's receptiveness and what their areas of resistance are, instead of challenging them with the why question. The why question will turn them off. Asking them to be drawn out, talking with them in a way that draws them out, is a more effective questioning technique.